How the fuck does Jimmy Haslam not see what's going on in Cleveland? They hired people to tell them that throwing the ball is more conducive in today's NFL. But how doesn't he see what the fuck's going on in Cleveland? How the fuck does he watch a star quarterback come to his team and regress substantially in 6 games? I understand rust, but I'm sorry. That rust we've seen the last couple, this shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been there. That is Kevin Stefanski and his analytics, Coach Paul DePodesta. That's their offense. They don't understand the game of football. They're analytic nerds. So my question to you is, how the fuck is Jimmy Haslam sitting back and saying, well, it's going to work? It's not going to work, Jimmy. It's not going to fucking work. It's evident. And I'm just sitting there. I mean, how many Browns fans that used to love this team don't even care no more? I don't care. I'm making videos on it now because I am truly flabbergasted and amazed that Jimmy Haslam sits back, watches what I see every Sunday, and is not questioning, how can I let this go on any longer? How can I keep these clowns running this franchise? I mean, he gave Paul DePodesta a 5-year extension in 2021. Based on what? The guy went 1-31. In his tenure, he's acquired the worst record in professional sports history. I mean, he's a cancer. And just when you started getting out of the fucking shitty-ass fucking whatever, you hired John Dorsey. Just as fast you fired him. And you gave the reins over to this fucking analytic nerd. Last year, that team should have, this year, we should have went 12-5. Easily. Why do you think Clowney wants out? Or quit? He knew what was going on. He's like, fuck this. Coaching staff wasted a year of my life. I just can't believe Jimmy Haslam's so goddamn dumb and naive to sit back and just watch this and not make a move. Jimmy, you are a fucking idiot. You've allowed a baseball failure, analytic nerd, take control of your football team and run them into the ground. No one's going to want to come to Cleveland. Nobody. Myles Garrett, if I was you, I would demand to be traded. Nick Chubb, if I was you, I would demand to be traded. The fuck, you're being wasted in Cleveland. And it's just going to get worse next year. You know what? Hey, look at the Cleveland Browns defense. Everyone they signed off people's practice squads are their best players at that position. So all the linebackers, Ragland, and the other guy, I forget his name, Mitchell, or I forget his name. They're better than our starters ever were. That's how bad Cleveland's evaluators are. The guys we signed off other players' practice squads are better than the guys we drafted and the guys we slotted in as starters. That's troubling. And Jimmy Haslam's just allowing it to continue. Jimmy, you listen. The NFL told Art Modell, you better find someone to sell the team to, or we're going to do it for you. Someone needs to tell Jimmy Haslam, we're going to find someone to sell the team to, we're going to do it for you, because you are an embarrassment. I want to get a class action lawsuit against Jimmy Haslam and the Cleveland Browns, because he's taken what I love, my passion, and I don't even care anymore. People know me. I used to fucking love the Browns. I can care less now. Jimmy Haslam stole that from me. He stole that from me because of his he's the worst business owner ever. And Paul DePodesta, he deserves to be in fucking jail for what he's done to this team. So honestly, you Browns fans, if you have season tickets, I wouldn't even go. I'd sell them. There is nothing to look forward to this season. Nothing at all. You know what you're going to look forward to? Stefanski being fired after week 7. You're going to be 2-5 or 1-6. Stefanski's finally going to get fired. The season's going to be over when he should have already done it this year. That's what you got to look forward to. It boggles my mind at what Haslam's doing, how he's allowing this. And I wish the national media would pick this up, but no one will. You know why? Because the local media is afraid to talk about it. They got like a moratorium. You can't talk about anything with Paul DePodesta. And so the national media, if the local media don't care, why would the national media care? Someone needs to get it. Paul DePodesta, for anyone that's clueless about this, think about it. Kevin Stefanski ran 13 personnel, 2 tight end, 3 tight end offense, right? Conservative, terrible. Chase Diggs out of Atlanta or out of Minnesota, Chase Beckham out of here, whatever. And now he's all of a sudden running a wide open offensive air assault because he wants to be like today's NFL. That's not Kevin Stefanski. That's Paul DePodesta. That's what they want to do. And that's fine moving ahead, but you got to get better pieces than Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones. You can't do it with just a quarterback and Amari Cooper. You got to get the right pieces around. And you can't neglect the running game. And this is what I don't understand about this organization. They don't care about the running game. I know people can say, oh, Chubb's like third and handoffs or whatever, running the ball. if you're going to neglect the running game, why the fuck did you sign Dearness Johnson? Why did you keep Kareem Hunt hostage when you could have traded him for a third-round pick earlier this year when you want to trade it? It's just a bad run organization, and I'm tired of it. I'm a Lions fan now. It's hard to switch football teams, believe me, but I like the Detroit Lions. That's my new team. I'm a Lions fan. I'm starting to support them. The only way I'll go back to Cleveland is if they get rid of DePodesta and Stefanski and get a new coach. Or if Jimmy Haslam sells the fucking team. Jimmy Haslam is a fucking cancer. He doesn't know how to run a football operations because he allowed a baseball failure, Paul DePodesta, to run his franchise into the fucking ground. And I'm not the only Brown. There's thousands of Browns fans that know what's going on. Paul DePodesta's in fucking Stefanski's headset calling plays on Sunday. I don't think you guys realize, but that's how bad it is. I didn't believe it when I first found out about it, but then when I studied it, I figured out the Ivy code. I cracked the Ivy code. I heard about what was going on. I cracked it. Tony Grossi just followed my suit, and I'm glad he did. Because this is ridiculous. I don't even care about football anymore. I mean, I'm going to watch the playoffs. I love it, but it's just like my shit's I don't care about the Browns anymore. I don't. I literally don't. I'll make fun of the Browns now. They're a clown show. They're a laughingstock. Those 8 championships you had, who gives a fuck? You're fucking terrible in the modern day. That's all that matters. You're a fucking clown show. So fuck the Cleveland Browns. I'm a Lion fan until Jimmy Haslam makes the appropriate move. And guess what? There's a lot of fans just like me that are moving to different teams. So Jimmy Haslam, you got... if you're going to run this back next year with the same guys. Oh, by the way, Joe Woods would have not have been fired. If the players didn't publicly come out and criticize Joe Woods' defense, they would have never fired Joe Woods. They had no choice to fire him now because Joe Woods was the perfect employee. Kept his mouth shut and did exactly as instructed. He was like bloatware. Did exactly as instructed on command. So, yeah, Joe Woods would have never been fired. They're not going to hire Brian Flores because he's not going to be one of them guys, yes man. He's going to be a guy that does what he wants. They're going to hire the DC from Seattle, or the guy from Seattle is getting a job. They will not hire a guy like Flores or a guy like Schwartz who won't adhere to their system. I'm surprised Callahan's adhering to it. And maybe he's not because Jedrick Willis took a substantial drop-off, so did the offensive line. Maybe he's just at his odds end and said, fuck it. Maybe he's not even coaching good this year because there's a substantial drop-off in the offensive line, and I wouldn't blame him because if he's under the Ivy code like the rest of the coaching staff, why do you think Purifer, the worst special teams coach in history, hasn't been fired? He adheres to what they say, and he does as instructed. Browns fans, wake up. It's the Ivy code. DePodesta's running the show. Stefanski is a reluctant participant. He's like my puppets on Twitter. They're all reluctant participants. Stefanski, you can tell he doesn't want to do it, but he's forced to. And in the process, has made Deshaun Watson look like Baker Mayfield, and that's bad. It is hard to make a guy like Deshaun Watson, that talented, look as bad as he did. Stefanski's done it, and he gets another year with him.